There used to be a time, around the late 80s to early 90s, when rap was at the periphery of mainstream America, still figuring out how to break through a wider audience and establish its longevity and respect in the music world. To accomplish that, there were rappers who, finding themselves straddling the line between art and commerce, leaned more toward the latter. These guys are best described, and derisively so, as pop rappers. And there was no designated pop rapper at that time more successful than Will Smith. The lifespan of a pop rapper at peak performing level is remarkably short, an average of 2 years. Somehow, though, Will was able to stretch that projected super short lifespan into a career unlike anything ever enjoyed by any other rapper. But the end of a pop rapper's career, sudden, savage, and worthy of scorn, is inevitable, whether it takes 2 years or much more than 2 decades. The late 80s is not only the beginning of the much hallowed golden age of hip-hop, but also the beginning of rappers who achieved greater than normal sales and Billboard chart placements. Some MCs achieved that without feeling like they diluted the art form and thus were able to escape the dreaded pop rap tag, or worse, being called a sellout. Others earned it because their success was accompanied by a sense of how concessionary their output was, the equivalent of turning broccoli into sweetened puree for a toddler to eat. As the Fresh Prince, Will Smith was in an enviable gray area. He wasn't exactly broccoli, but he wasn't exactly sweetened broccoli puree either. But he could have easily been the latter if not for three things. One, he had DJ Jazzy Jeff. That helped him get a stamp of hip-hop credibility, especially considering that Jazzy Jeff is considered one of the genre's greatest DJs and is co-credited with popularizing the Transformer scratch. 2. Will's career as one half of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince was durable. The duo's resume includes 5 albums, 1 multi-platinum, 1 platinum, and 3 gold in 6 years, with 5 top 40 hits and 2 Grammys, the first of which was the first ever award for a rap act. You're not getting any other pop rap acts making it past their first crossover hit, let alone their first hit album, if they ever get one. And finally, there's Will's personality. Within hip-hop circles, his good-natured aura and sense of wit and humor could come off as goofy, even corny. But to the mainstream, which still viewed hip-hop as a fad at best and violent and worthless at worst, the Fresh Prince was, to borrow racially coded language, comparatively palatable and, non-threatening. Consequently, it helped to make the Fresh Prince the first rapper to transcend his art form and become a cross-cultural and multimedia figure in the 90s. First as a sitcom star with the titular The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, then as a major box office draw. So while others of his ilk quickly faded into history, the Fresh Prince morphed into Will Smith, the blockbuster actor. And that's why when Will decided to come back to rap after a 4-year absence, but without Jazzy Jeff, barely anyone raised an eyebrow. He had the commercial clout and the previous rap career to do so. Plus, the whole DJ/MC aesthetic wasn't exactly in vogue in the late 90s. Unless you're a gangstar or something. If anyone dared question Smith's pop rap credentials during an era of MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice, they dared not do so now. There was the presence of a blatant formula. Have an album anchored by a hit single from his latest blockbuster movie, assign ghostwriting duties to rappers technically and culturally superior to him, and hire producers to craft soundscapes from samples of easily recognizable hits of yesteryear. The result? A Will Smith that was more commercially successful as Will Smith than he was as the Fresh Prince. We're talking 2 multi-platinum albums instead of 1, 6 top 40 hits instead of 5, with 2 of them being #1 pop hits, and equaling the 2 Grammy tally of his Fresh Prince days. Big Willie Style, his first album as a billed solo artist, was not only Will's best-selling album, but also among the best-selling rap albums released in 1997, bested by none but one, from Biggie. But when Will Smith wore down his formula by the mid-2000s, and it was evident that he was a lot more actor who occasionally raps rather than rapper who occasionally acts, his rap career went silent. 20 years is a lot of time to be absent from anything, but in an ever-evolving field like rap, the consequences could be especially devastating, because going into its fourth and fifth decades of existence, hip-hop was no longer at the periphery, it was now center stage. You didn't need pop rappers for a genre that was now popular. Case in point, Super Bowl halftime performances. Lost in the euphoria of Kendrick Lamar being the first solo rap performer billed for this honor in 2025 is the one that took place 3 years earlier, notable for being the first halftime performance to be centered around hip-hop. And the performers were not pop rappers, but rather from hip-hop's most notorious subgenre during the 1990s, gangster rap. There will be no Hammer dancing in billowy pants, or Young MC performing Bust a Move and stretching out his sets to include Principal's Office. And there definitely wouldn't be Will Smith providing a DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince medley. The need for someone like Will Smith was obsolete. And that isn't the only professional issue. Good luck being a major commercial force in rap when you hit 40. Jay-Z and Eminem are exceptions, but these are MCs who are otherworldly. Drake and Kendrick Lamar might join those two. Even Drake, still licking his wounds from his battle with K-Dot, remains the only threat to the latter's current dominance. And while you can argue that Drake is the latest and much more lethal iteration of the pop rapper, such a designation feels redundant. If rappers are now the drivers of pop culture, then Drake has transcended that to become a pop star, pliable to slink in and out of rap, with his only match being Taylor Swift. So that makes Will Smith truly the last of the pop rappers, the only one from that unfortunate bunch with any significant cultural or commercial relevance. But the last few years haven't been kind to Will's film career and public image. Smith's standing as a leading man and box office attraction started fluctuating in the 2010s. Then there's his marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith that can be best described as complicated, but which hasn't exactly painted Will as this dominant virile figure worthy of respect. In fact, it was his insistence in staying in this, in his words, bad marriage for life, that eventually compelled him to do this.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? that was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to.
Will Smith won an Oscar that night, by the way. The first rapper ever to win one for acting. Sorry, Em, but you wouldn't know it from the wave of criticism and retribution that happened next. So you can imagine what many were thinking when he announced that he was releasing an album. After 2 decades out of the rap game, after a slumping film career, after defending a wife from whom he separated and has made statements and committed actions that do nothing but humiliate him, the question was, who asked for this? Who in the year of our Lord 2025 was going to stream or buy a Will Smith record? His fellow Gen Xers, who grew up on this Fresh Prince era music, moved on a long time ago, and they might be the group, save for baby boomers, most revolted by his actions at the Oscars. Also moving on are millennials, who experienced Will's music during his Jiggy era, and most of whom haven't been excited about rap music in a while. You can forget about Gen Z, whose tastes range from Drake to all the littles you can think of. Casuals are not checking for Will, he's not cool enough, and he's damaged goods. And hip-hop heads have never truly respected him, regardless of the breakthroughs he's provided the rap genre. And oh yeah, the major label machine is no longer in the picture. So, with all these factors considered, it's easy to understand the fate of Will's latest effort, based on a true story. Let's put this in perspective. Every single one of his albums have charted on the Billboard 200, generated an RIAA certification, and yielded at least one single on the Billboard Hot 100. Based on a True Story has achieved none of those things. It's Will Smith's first bomb, and not the good one. it's the one that can clear a room. The thought of Will Smith not charting with an album, even with his diminished state, is unthinkable. But when many people are poking fun at Will's performance at Lyrical Lemonade, and some people even include a battle rapper who's not known for anything close to being as noteworthy as Smith, but is rather best known for this,
And there it is.
we should have seen that coming. Apparently, Based on the True Story is the first of a trilogy of albums from Will. No one can stop him from continuing his rap career. It's a free country. Well, for the most part. But there's absolutely no point investing several hours writing, or ghostwriting, producing, mixing and mastering, and promoting output that virtually no one is going to listen to. Quite literally. Will Smith has far outlived the essence of pop rap, and thus has far outlived his essentiality. Because when you eventually get used to broccoli, why should you care about puree? Thanks for watching. For those new here, welcome to Rap Perspective. For the Rappleheads, I greatly appreciate your support. Don't forget to like, comment on, and share this video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I encourage everyone to watch, like, comment on, and share other videos on here. See you in the next video.